Welcome back to On the Line Talk with Catalina and Captain Spaulding.
Hello, everyone.
We are on episode 3 for the John Wayne Gacy Devil in Disguise episodes that you can also find on Peacock if you have it. I don't know if that's got the, if you paid, I think I paid, the $14.99 one.
I think they have a free one.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you can find it there for free or not. You can probably find it on YouTube, too, for free. At least some of the shorts, or some of the episodes. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get right into episode 3. This one basically kind of talks more about the victims than Gacy.
Yeah.
Which, okay, yeah, fine and good, but eh.
I mean, one interesting fact that it does have that Gacy showed all the detectives was where everybody was underneath his house. He drew them a picture of his crawl space on the back of his, what was it?
Inmate property
property
pink,
intake.
Yeah, a pink piece of paper. I can't fucking talk. It's a yeah, that was interesting. But what they're calling a crawl space, it's underneath his fucking house. There was no latches or doors. It was all floor.
Right. That's what a crawl space, basically dirt and pipes.
Well, to somebody that doesn't do construction or know how to build a house, a crawl space to me is something that you're going to be able to get to with a door, by a door or a latch, or moving something from the floor to get to it.
Right.
That's a crawl space to me. Telling me, oh well, yeah, that's it underneath the house. No, that's not a crawl space. That's like saying every house has an attic. Okay, yeah, there's a top part of the house where, everything has to go, but there's not technically an attic up there because there's usually a door somewhere, and an attic usually is you're able to store shit in an attic.
Right.
There's a big difference.
I mean, he stored things under the house.
Yeah, now see what he should have done.
See if he would have had an attic.
Because see, right, honestly, and plus, it wasn't just in one area of the house. It was around the entire living room, kitchen, bedrooms, bathrooms. It was everywhere.
All the way from the front door to the back door.
What, 29 bodies underneath the house?
27.
No, 27 in the house.
Under the house, and then 2 right outside the house.
Yep. And then I believe, because there were 33 bodies found.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, I believe, is coming in a later episode where the other
so far all we know is
there were 27 bodies found there?
29
Oh.
in and around the house, and then 1 for sure in the river.
Yeah, the missing boy that they were looking for from, what, episode 1?
Yes. Robert Pierced.
Robert. We're just going to name him Robert. I'm not trying to praise Gacy, and I'm really not trying to bring, more, I don't like bringing up the victims' names too much, because to me, their family got their bodies, and if it were, say it was my kid, I wouldn't want their names out there known as one of his victims.
Right.
Because, I mean, the way that this case was handled, it was handled really shitty. Really shitty.
Very, very poorly.
Like, they classified all the victims as either Gay prostitutes, gay, what, gay runaways,
Yeah.
or anything that had to do with gay, that was there. It was implied. And a good bit of these kids that he was taking, yes, they were kids. They weren't, a lot of them, some of them were under the age of 18. You're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You are still a kid. You might not be a baby, but you are a kid. They were not all gay. They were...
And they weren't all runaways.
Yeah, none of them, I don't even think any of them were runaways.
No.
The ones that they found underneath the house weren't even really runaways. They were trying to make a decent living for themselves in that time period. And $5 an hour back then was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's where the first victim, well, not really the first victim. We can't say it was the first victim. We can say that it was one of the ones that was brought to the cops' attention, but that never panned out.
Yeah, they never really actually looked for him. They said that he was just missing. And then he wasn't even missing.
Yeah, he wasn't even missing. Well, the family was like, hey, my son didn't come home, something's not right, and do something about it. Okay, well, they start looking, they don't find anything. Later on down the line, the car gets, spotted for a gas ditch and run, basically.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, he's still alive. His car was spotted. License plates and everything are still on it. Same license plates are still on that car. And they did talk to Gacy about it.
Yeah, and he said that he bought the car from the kid and that he was in a hurry to leave town.
And he needed the money to leave town. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And they left it at that. And the cops let Gacy basically tell them that, yeah, he was a runaway.
And not only that, but then they went back to the parents and told them, yeah, he just didn't want to be around y'all. Like, he basically made it out to where the kid didn't want to be with his family anymore and just wanted to escape, basically. And that was the end of it.
Which is really shitty to tell a family.
Right.
Like, oh, your son didn't want to be with you anymore. No, he's underneath this dude's house forever, however long. You found his body. You found the car that his gay lover was gay worker / he worked for the guy too.
Yeah.
Was driving, that had a wife and a kid.
Uh-huh.
Which is weird. The same car. Didn't even bother to change his license plate or get the name change in their name. Gacy just gave it to him.
Yeah, and then they finally put two and two together whenever they found the class ring in Gacy's house.
Which was the same class ring that belonged to the kid that had this car.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking ridiculous. They just... And then before they even found the bodies, Gacy was actually out on bond because he had beaten Jeff something. He was a gay guy. He was a gay guy. I don't know if he's passed on or not. The way that his partner talks about him, he is. But Jeff basically, he was walking.
No, he was waiting for a bus.
Oh, okay. Waiting for a bus, and Gacy asked him, hey, you want to smoke a joint? And Jeff's like, yeah. So he gets in the car. Gacy lights it up, and they start passing it, and the next thing Jeff knows, he's chloroformed and in a room hanging from the ceiling. Like, what the fuck? Like, when he got released by Gacy, right?
Yeah,
or did he run away?
No, he got dumped in the same spot that he was picked up.
He was found. Yeah, okay. So not everybody that Gacy tortured or abducted.
And then they wanted to talk about, oh, well, it was probably had to do a lot with Gacy's car and the fact that it looked like a patrol car.
Because it had a spotlight on it. But what I was trying to say was that not everybody that Gacy actually um, took back to his house, died. Not all of them died. He basically was playing God. He was basically again, he was Gacy, but he was like the P. Diddy of the 1960s, which is funny, except for the lotion. He didn't have the oil either. I don't think he had the oil either.
No, he just had the chains.
He just had the chains, yeah. And the handcuffs. And the rope trick, as you were going to point out.
The rope trick.
It's not even a rope trick.
Yeah, no. Okay, so with Robert, he took him to his house and showed him a handcuff trick and put the handcuffs on himself. Gacy put them on himself and turned back around, and had the handcuffs off. So Robert was like, "Whoa, how'd you do that?" And so he put them on Robert.
He said, "Here, I'll show you, put them on."
So he did, and then Gacy took a key out of his pocket and said, "Here's how you get it off."
No, he basically, the guy's like, "I don't understand how this trick works." He said, that's, Gacy pulls the key out of his pocket and said, "Well, it's because you don't have the key. You gotta have the key." So he basically set him up for failure.
Then did what he called the rope trick, which was basically a tourniquet around the neck.
I mean, he knotted it off. Like, he knotted, like, pretty much like sailor knots. It was like a sailor knot of some kind that you could slide it down to make it tighter as it progressed. Oh no, he twisted it.
Yeah,
he twisted it. That's what it was.
He had a stick on it, holding the two ends of the rope together, and
it had a knot on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he would twist it. And what's messed up about this is the last victim that we know for sure, which was, what, Robert?
Mm-hmm.
Is that he really didn't even get to, honestly, I know this sounds so bad, he really didn't get to fulfill a lot of his needs out on this boy, because right in the middle of it, of the rope trick, he gets a phone call. So he has to stop what he's doing and he goes and answers the phone. I'm not going to answer the phone in the middle of killing somebody. That's like in the middle of cooking, you're going to go answer the phone and walk away and be gone for
who knows how long.
However long, and you burn your food. I'm not comparing the kid to the food. That's not what I'm saying. But it's one of those, why would you do that? Why would you want to do that? Because he had to
keep up his social status.
We don't even know who the fuck he was on the phone with.
Yeah, it was one of the politicians. It was some other politician.
Yeah, but they didn't have caller ID back then. He didn't know who the fuck was calling.
True.
So, I mean, how the fuck would he even know? Like, is this call important? Should I wait? I wonder if he was like, first ring, should I answer that? Should I stop what I'm doing? Because, boy, he's not going anywhere, but,
this could be bad.
It could be important. It could be the cops. They might, I wonder if he was actually arguing with himself in his head.
What if it's the kid's mom?
What if somebody knows? Let me go answer that phone. Hang on, guy. I'm just gonna leave this right here.
Don't touch it.
You should be fine until I get back. And by the time he got back, the kid was dead. I know that sounds bad, like we're making fun of the kid. We're not. We're not making fun of him. It's more of
making fun of Gacy.
What the hell were you thinking when you stopped?
What the hell was he thinking in the
first place
of doing any of that?
In the first place,
but,
exactly.
I mean, he's not going to answer that, though.
Oh, no, because he doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Oh, no.
But yet he did admit to them, yes, he did. He did kill these people. But and this is what I don't like, again, and I'm going to say this again, and it's probably going to come up in a lot of the documentaries that we do reviews on, and all that. I don't like the fact that they're not really digging in to these people's minds. But you want them to talk to all these experts. You want to talk to all these experts and hear what their diagnosis is. I'm fine with you telling me what their problem mentally is, but that doesn't tell me what honestly makes them click. Just like you can tell me, oh, this person has depression, that's why they act the way they act. Yeah, but like any mental any mental problem, a lot of that with enough training and understanding the triggers and the warning signs of when everything starts, a good bit of those, except for maybe a schizophrenic, because that'd probably be a little bit hard, but you can fix that in a person without drugs.
Right.
You can train your brain to not be as bad as things can be. Now, sometimes it is hard. With myself being being a depressed person, and pretty much has anxiety and does not really. I really don't care for people. You wouldn't think that to meet me somewhere, but I really don't care for people because I just I'm just not a people person, and I can that's why I don't understand all these serial killers. They are all people person,
Right.
but they are fucking killing people. Like,
Especially with Gacy. I mean, who's going to be a politician and a construction owner and I mean, the Pogo the freaking clown.
and then go and kill people.
Let's hire this person. He looks like he'd be a good trophy.
Like, I completely understand the having to put on the face and, like...
And he literally put on a face.
Oh, yeah, he did. But, I mean, I get having to put on the face and being the people person for at least 8 hours a day. I get that. And that you need to come back to your house or home or whatever you want to call it, back to your domain and de-stress. But how does it go from...
one extreme to the other?
One... Exactly. Like, I can understand. I found my outlet a good bit of the time. I either do my diamond art or I get on my freaking PlayStation and I shoot people. Okay, I'm not literally killing people. I'm shooting people in their made-up avatars. Or a computer simulated, generated person.
Right.
I'm not going out killing people and hiding them underneath the house. Although there are a few people I probably wouldn't mind doing that to. But that's beside the point. Doesn't mean I'm actually going to go out and do it.
Exactly.
When does it get to the point where...
your brain says that's okay.
Exactly. And that's exactly what his brain is telling him. It was okay. I didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, you went from all this to killing these people was perfectly fine. What is okay about that?
After torturing them.
Yeah, because the guy Jeff that he kidnapped...
Yeah, it never... Well, except for
Gacy
Jeff.
beat the fuck out of that dude.
Except Jeff. I mean, it never specifically says that he tortured anyone.
No, it didn't. He's the only one that they have actual evidence. And the only reason that the cops didn't pursue that case is because it was a gay thing. He was a gay male.
Yep.
And it was in the 60s. That was a very taboo thing. And cops did not have... They didn't know what to do with that.
In the guy's own words, he said, because he was talking about his boyfriend, Jeff.
His partner.
Yeah, his partner. And he says, the cop said, it was just another butt fuck.
Butt fucker. Yeah, another butt fucker. And the fact that every gay sex was consensual. How do you say that?
Consensual.
Did I say that right? Okay. I'm so worried that I wasn't saying that. But that everything was okay if you were gay and it was being done to you. No.
Yeah, they said it wasn't rape if it was gay.
If it was gay sex. Because, they were gay. That's not true. And Jeff was so terrified but was so pissed off to the point where he was like, him and his partner for what, 3 weeks?
3 months.
Was it? I thought
it was 3
really?
months.
3 months they went out because he remembered hearing the plane, and he remembered where he picked him up at.
Well, he didn't remember where he picked him up at. He remembered the car.
No,
he remembered the plane, so he knew it had to be close to the airport.
Yeah, but he also did remember where he picked him up at because he was still conscious.
Right.
And they went out searching for this car, and finally they found it. They found it. And it was crazy.
Didn't say that they ever did anything to him or anything like that. They just followed him.
Yeah, and that's when that episode ends, though.
Right.
Yeah, that one ends pretty abruptly after that. They don't really say like a whole lot. Like I said, it's basically just recapping and the families and okay, now what? Okay, I gotta bring this up because this is bothers the fuck out of me. This is in the 60s.
70s.
And 60s and 70s, when all this stuff was taking place. Now I understand that his case was, him personally in the justice system was handled wrong. They should have been able to put 2 and 2 together. This dude is fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, this is the second time he's been in here for this same shit. What's going on? Red flags would have been going off in the detectives' heads nowadays. Mm-hmm. Because they're more trained. They're trained better. They're not just thrown in there, and they actually go to academies for these things and shit and classes.
Well, I'm pretty sure they had academies and stuff back then, but
not as advanced as they are now.
No. This was before serial killers were really a thing.
No, serial killers have been a thing for a while, even in women.
Right.
They have documents of that shit, nurses and things like that. But still, nobody really trained these people to do that because they were in different time periods in different parts of the world and shit like that, or the country. But like I said, I completely understand that this was a different time period. But it's as bad as being back in the 1800s when there was a beheading in the middle of town. These people are outside their house, outside Gacy's house, watching them bring out dead bodies with children, bringing sack lunches. What the fuck's wrong with you?
They're almost as bad, in my opinion. They're almost as bad as
Gacy. I agree.
Sitting there watching, counting the dead bodies coming out of Gacy's house.
Which is fucking crazy. I would want to shelter my kids from that. I would want them to know, look, there are bad people out in the world, which I did. I did that with my kids.
Right.
I showed them these documentaries and I'm like, look, there are bad people out in the world. I'm dead serious. These are real. Mm-hmm. Real cases of kidnapped kids.
But you're not going to a convicted murderer's house saying...
He wasn't convicted yet. He was not convicted yet.
He was on one count.
One count, but not of all of them.
No.
Just one. But still.
But, I mean, what do you tell your kids? Look, kids, it's another one.
Dead body number 2. How do you eat a sack lunch watching them bringing these dead...
Can you imagine what the smell would have been like?
Oh my god.
Whenever they started digging out the floor and cutting pieces of the flooring out? I mean...
Honestly, no.
I would not be able to eat.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, just knowing that was on my block, I probably wouldn't be able to eat for a couple of days at least.
I mean, it just amazes me. It's like, and how do you not feel some kind of sympathy for these people?
Right.
Like,
they're smiling, walking by the camera, and just having a good time.
Like, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's, loved one. How do you do that? I couldn't. I think I would have been, honestly, in my opinion, I think I would have been one of the ones that would have been trying to find a way to get to Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it was one of my loved ones.
Oh, definitely.
And, oh my gosh, to outspeak against the way that they handled the victims, that every single one of them was gay. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They were used in a gay, sexual, unwanted way by a man that is deranged and psychotic.
And could just speak his way into and out of everything.
No, he couldn't speak his way out of all that shit.
He tried.
Although, technically, if he really wanted to, he probably could have. And I can tell you how he probably could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just had these... They were just... The house smelled like that when I got here. I don't know. I never thought about it. Thought maybe it was pipes. Had my workers dig holes. They never found bodies underneath there. So we just put lime underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't smell anything. I'm used to it. I mean, he could have. How do you know that I didn't know they were there. You didn't find that Robert boy, did you? No. If he hadn't admitted to that. Oh, well, how did you get his car? He sold it to him, remember? He needed the cash to get out of here. Oh, but his body was found underneath it. Yeah, but was he in that house the same time? Or was that... You
No,
never know.
He was in the house at the same time.
But...
Yeah, he could have tried to talk his way out of it.
He could have damn near gotten away with it.
He probably could have gotten away with it just because, I mean, look at how many times we've gotten away with it before.
Exactly, and plus the whole, the ring, I found the class ring in the car. I just kept it and I didn't think anything of it.
Right.
Or the receipt, I found it on the floor, or I found it on the ground, so I just stuck it in my pocket and I throw it away when I got to the house because it was on my way to the house.
Right.
I never seen that boy before.
I mean, most serial killers, by the time that they reach,
most serial killers want to be praised for their work.
Or, at that point, he just wanted to be caught. Maybe he subconsciously was tired of doing what he was doing.
Possibly. But denying it? Like saying, yes, I did do that, and then denying it in the interview?
Right.
And he did nothing wrong? Is extremely... You can't say he had split personalities, because he really didn't.
No, he definitely did not.
He was... I don't even know if he's still alive or not. But,
Well, we need to finish the episodes before we come to that.
Right.
That.
But, I mean... I don't even think that you could say that he had a mental condition other than the fact of he was just fucking psycho.
Right.
I wouldn't really call him a monster. I would more call him sick. He's a sick man for having bodies underneath his house and living in that smell. Like, what would you get out of that smell every day? That's what would get me.
Gratification of the kill?
Gratification? Maybe. Or
remembering his...
Conquest? Is that a way to say that?
I'm not sure what to call it.
I don't know either. I don't know either. But this episode really does talk a lot about the families, and they did a lot of his victims were close to their families. Like one guy, the first victim that we know for sure with the car, he came home every night and kissed his mother goodnight before he went to bed.
Dinner with the family.
Yep. Yeah.
Hard worker.
Looking for better opportunities. They all were.
He was still in high school.
Yeah. And he had been with one company before he went to Gacy's company. So, I mean, Gacy did have a known... a
very well-known construction company.
No. Relationship. He did know the guy. He did know him because his mother had his time card.
Yeah.
And Gacy's like, can I have that? And she's like, no, I'm going to hang on to it. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, he's a weird individual. Well, yeah. Your son goes missing? I want to know, was that before or after he went missing that he went and wanted his time card? After?
Yes.
Was it? I didn't remember them
Yeah,
saying it. I
because
couldn't hear them saying anything about it.
if he had the time card, he could have gotten rid of the time card and they couldn't have proved at all that he ever worked for him.
No, that's not true. Because they still had to have paperwork on that, and they have a whole binder of his paperworks.
True.
So yeah, it really wouldn't have mattered, but he could have changed the time card. Because it looked like it was written in
Yeah, it
there.
was written in pen.
Yeah, it looked like it was. No, it looked like it was in pencil.
No, it was pen. It was blue pen.
Was it? Oh, huh. Parts of it looked like it was in pencil.
Oh, part of it was. I think his name
The
and
3, I think it was 3 p.m. was actually written in pencil. Because it was a 3. I remember the 3. But, I mean, it was just crazy. All this... Them reaching for straws and then finally getting somewhere. And then to unearth all that. And then for...
But I know there are a few things that we have missed talking about about this episode. I really recommend everyone go and check it out, because there are some of the things that are said by the family members of the missing people.
Like what?
That's the thing. I can't remember exactly what was said, but I know that there's a few important details that were said that I was trying to remember for this episode of our podcast, and I can't remember.
Well, the first one...
It was by the brother and sister of the
very first...
quote-unquote first victim.
Yeah, he was a family-oriented person. The cops made them feel like he had just said, fuck the family, he didn't want anything to do with them, and that he was still alive a couple of years later. And the mom did tell them, look, something's wrong. You need to. She tried to press the cops and kept getting nowhere, and they shut the case off.
Right.
And then Gacy's family...
Well, I guess we did talk about...
Yeah, we did. And then Gacy, his sister, she was the only sister out of what was it, 5?
5 kids.
5 kids. She was the only girl. I want to know about his other brothers. I want to know about the other brothers. I want to hear from them. I want to know what they think about it.
Hopefully it'll pop up in some of the next episodes.
I hope so too. That would be interesting to get. I really want to know the family's intake too on. I mean, do y'all just like?
Do y'all know and don't want to say anything, or?
No, I want to know the impact that it has on you as a person out in society. That, okay, I could probably pass that woman in a grocery store and not know who the fuck she is.
Right.
Like, okay, unless,
But the people in that town.
in that town, like, how do you walk around town? Did you have to move? Did you change your name?
Des Plaines.
Oh,
right?
I don't remember. I don't remember
it's
that
part of Chicago.
yeah.
But I think the town that they're in is Des Plaines.
I don't remember. I'd have to look. I didn't write that part down. I think because I'm gonna show my illiteracy here. I didn't know how to spell it, and I didn't want to stop the episode and Google it because I was like, well, we'll figure that out later. But we do know it was in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago is a fairly big city.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, is it like Dallas? Do they have, like...
Yes.
Okay, so when you say yes, they can't see my motion. So let me explain that motion real quick. Dallas is a city, okay? Then they have Dallas-Fort Worth. Then they have Fort Worth, Plano, or Plano and DFW. And then they have Arlington, and it's all connected into this big city. Like, there are different parts of Dallas.
Like Tulsa, there's Jinx, Broken Arrow, actual Tulsa. Let's see, what else is...
Oklahoma City?
No, that's not part of Tulsa.
Oh, I thought Tulsa was Oklahoma.
It is in Oklahoma, but it's not Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is its own city.
Yeah, but Oklahoma has all these little,
Yeah, but Tulsa, in actual Tulsa County, there's Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Jinx,
Oh, so little towns inside of a little town.
Exactly.
Inside of another little town. Yeah, see, that's what I was wanting to know. If
It's like Dallas.
Yeah. It's so weird that Chicago is like that. That's why I want to know if they really...
I mean, that could be a lot of the reason why the detectives didn't
put two and two together.
Do their job correctly. Was, I mean, Chicago's known for having a really high crime rate anyway.
True. But he also went right back to the same place, the same town, once he got out of the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't live in the same places as his parents, I don't think.
Yeah. They
moved out of that house, remember? They moved out of the home that him and his mother and his dad and...
Oh, yeah, they moved from, I don't remember where it was now.
We're bad at reporting on this shit.
These episodes are really
extremely long. They're extremely long. Like
some parts it's hard to keep up where they're at and what they're doing.
Exactly, because they move around so much in these documentaries, and they're talking about this person, and they go from this person to that person, and it's crazy. Like episode 4, which will be in our next one, which will be tomorrow. At some point, we might take a break tomorrow because I have other engagements tomorrow, but that one's like 48 minutes long.
49.
Yeah, it's long. It's extremely crazy. Like, let me see. I'm actually pulling it up right now. The first episode was 48 minutes. Yeah, 48 minutes long. 55. First one was 55. Last... oh wait, that's the fourth one. Hold on. No. 48 minutes, 54 minutes, and then 51 minutes. So they're almost an hour long, and there's so much information in them that is more about the families and the victims and how many bodies that were found and what the city was doing at that time and what the detectives were doing and the police officers and how the media was portraying everything. And
what we're really trying to stick to is the victims and how it pertained to Gacy himself.
Exactly. Like, he said his was all in chance. In this episode, he said, oh, the people I'm not the monster that they make me out to be because, I wasn't out there looking for them. I just happened upon them. Bitch, you don't happen upon them when you're out there deliberately cruising the streets looking for a motherfucking victim. Because that's exactly what the fuck you doing. Because your dick's hard and you can't do nothing to fix it without finding you a goddamn victim. Period. You are out there trolling. You are out there looking. It's not chance. If it was chance, they'd knock on your fucking door. Right. Jehovah's Witness. Hello. How are you? Come on in. There's 2 for the picking right there. One goes to the bathroom, you chloroform the first one. That one, you wait for him when he comes from the bathroom. There you go. By a chance.
Left.
Exactly. Nobody even knew they came to your house.
Right.
I mean, I know that's one of those... What is that? That is by chance. That is by chance circumstances. So I don't believe him on that one with him saying, oh, well, they were just by chance. Bitch, you had everything you needed in that car. You had the drugs, you had the beer, you had the magic tricks, you had the cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you want to suck my dick for $10? I guarantee you he asked one of them for that, too. You knew where the gay hookers hung out. You say you're bisexual, but yet you don't really prefer women. You've been married twice. You had 2 kids of your own, but the next wife had 2 kids of her own. Really. So, I mean, tell me how you're not gay.
Yeah.
Because you fronted, and plus she never really said anything about their sexual life either. Which I would really like to know about that, too. Because the first wife, now they did discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
They said that, they were swingers. They did, that his was mainly men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the first case comes from. You sodomized a 16-year-old.
Right.
You touched a baby. In my opinion, I don't care if they got a mouth that can say yes or no. That's a baby.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, look at it at that time, though. I mean, young girls were getting married at that age.
And who said it was right?
I mean, it's not right. But
that's like saying the ones that they had in India, or arranged marriage is back in 1800s.
Right. I get that.
You know, they were 14-year-old girls. They hadn't even experienced life, and then you're given to this guy to marry, and then you have to be basically raped by him nightly to produce an heir. So you either have to be okay with it on some level, or just be completely mortified and eventually kill yourself.
Right.
Because it's not a life. It's not a life for young girls. It's not a life for young kids being done that way.
I agree. Especially when taken advantage of by being promised a job or money or whatever.
Yeah, you're taking advantage. That's where he is a master manipulator. I always have to say that really slow because I'm afraid I'm going to say masturbator. I want to say masturbator. I'm so worried I'm going to say that.
Well, now you just said it twice, so you don't have to worry about it.
I know, but it's just one of those. That's why, if anybody is listening to this and they want to know why it's so slow, or say that, it's because
of that reason.
Say that really fast, you're gonna fuck up. I guarantee it. But yeah, that episode was just. That one was really boring.
It was. It didn't really show any insight into anything except for that families were watching dead bodies being carried out.
And that the families that were trying to get the cops to get off their asses and do something because something was not right. Mothers have instincts, we know. When something is not right with our kids, you can be on the other motherfucking side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if your mama is something, if you miss a phone call or she hadn't heard from you in, say, a week, and you don't answer when she calls or texts you nowadays, bitch, there's something wrong, and mama's just gonna go fly her ass on wherever the hell you at.
Mm-hmm.
Something's fixing to happen because you can't tell me that nothing's wrong.
Very true.
Because, again, I'm a mother of 4 of my own. I've had I've had 3 stepkids. And even to this day, I still make sure that my stepkids are doing, what used to be my stepkids are okay. And find a way to make sure I know they're doing okay. And let them know if they need me, I am still here. I don't care if I'm married to your parent, you're the parent or not. If you need somebody that is not your actual guardian or just need a fucking place to chill out and clear your head, I will go in my room. You can have my living room. You want my bedroom? You can go in there in my bedroom. I'll stay out here in the living room if you just need a place to fucking chill. I don't give a damn. Period. I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of because I've known y'all since y'all were little. And that's just my motherly instinct. Just like these mothers were like, hey, bitch, you need to do your fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been that one. I would have been relentless. And I'm pretty sure that they were, but for that time period, I don't think they were. Women really didn't have a voice as much as they do now.
Right.
But I would have been the one that would probably been the first woman stoned for being that outspoken bitch. You know what I mean?
Or been in prison for hitting a cop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I probably would have been the reason why they had that charge. Like, oh, assault and battery to a police officer, 20 years. Yep, maybe you should have done your job, bitch. But yeah, that's why I'm glad I'm kind of not from that era, because I wouldn't have lived. I would not have been. I would have died like in the first, 15 years of my life.
Good possibility.
I would have been 15 years old when I died. Assault and battery from a police officer. But yeah, anyways, this episode is running a little bit longer than normal just because we're actually relaxing and want to give y'all a little bit of what we think and feel about this episode 3. And,
Not a whole lot of facts we could give you, but we tried to give you a little bit of entertainment anyway.
Yeah, episode 3 is entitled Horrific Acts. What horrific acts?
Yeah, no, it didn't say anything about horrific
Doesn't
acts.
say anything about that.
Well, I mean,
Gacy details his murders in a chilling confession as police uncover the
scope of
his crimes. No, he didn't. No. He never did tell them anything. No, he didn't, except for the rope trick and the handcuff trick.
Yeah.
And he did use chloroform. And that poor Jeffrey dude. Anything, like his partner said, anything and everything that could go wrong on that man's body did. Like, he was still bleeding from his...
Yeah.
His,
backside is what he says.
Yeah, from his backside. He was still bleeding from what... And had chloroform burns on his face.
And his face was so...
fucked up. That poor man, I really feel for him. Definitely. See, that's another thing. I couldn't have been a woman cop back then because I would have been crying and upset for the man and trying to figure out where the fuck this asshole was.
Right.
Because if anybody were to rape me in that area without my consent and I'm begging the cops to find this motherfucker and they're not doing anything... Oh my God, best believe somebody's gonna hurt. Somewhere, somehow. And I'm all for justice and all that. But if justice is not gonna be on your side, then it's time to...
Then it should be justifiable to take care of it
yourself. Exactly. Oh, trust me, because there are a good few people I would love... I would love for that law or to have a fucking... What is it, a purge? Oh my God, best believe I'd be hunting motherfuckers. Oh, you better hope like hell I don't find you that night because, woo, you think Gacy was bad. Honey. No. They would find you in the middle of the town, barely alive, and probably not gonna make it to the hospital. That's all I have to say. You're gonna remember that night. For a long time, even after your death. But that's beside the point.
But we really hope that you enjoyed this episode.
And our rantings. Mainly mine.
It has been a whole lot of fun.
It hasn't been much fun watching these episodes, but it has been in a very fun time doing these podcasts for you. So again, remember, I do have a Discord. I do have a YouTube channel. These episodes go straight to YouTube and to Spotify, whichever one you are listening to. I'm thinking about also expanding it to Apple and a couple of other platforms. Not quite sure. Trying to get a following before I branch out. So again, if you like these episodes, make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, give us some ideas to play with, and we will definitely work them into our list. So, hope you guys have a good night. This has been Catalina and Captain Spaulding.
Good night, everybody.
And we shall see you next time.